I'm not going to waste your time listing the main constants in life because we all know one of the primary ones, and that is music. Music is what keeps everybody moving, and it's what makes ear appreciation much better. Like, think about it. When was the last time you actually appreciated your ears? Like, imagine if you lost your ears tomorrow. Most of your free time will be lost. Sorry, music reviewers. But obviously, there are some people with some weird music tastes, and apparently, Apple has put out a top 100 best albums of all time, and many people have reacted to it and said that it's bad and that they should be ashamed of themselves. Now, personally, I think Apple is probably not. They're going to go two ways here. Either one, they have a lot of their Apple Music team members, and they said their favorite albums of all time and they compiled them all into one massive list, or B, they just looked at the 100 best albums of all time from like the internet, from like Rolling Stone or AllMusic.com, and just like made it up, made it even worse. And that's basically the list that we have. So I don't know what to expect from this, but I hope I find a good amount of albums that I know, because obviously I've not heard every song in existence or every album, so obviously I'm going to not know some of them. So yeah, enough rambling, let's check out the list. So here we have the list, and I already see some good albums here. We have that album. We have, I want to say the name of the artist, but I'll probably say his name later. We have Discovery, we have Revolver, Pet Sounds, The Chronic. Take Care is here. We have Stevie Wonder. We have Snoop right here. I can't. Taylor Swift. Okay. I never mind. I will not be able to wait for this. So we start off with Body Talk by Robin. I'm sorry, but I've not heard of this album before. Okay. Next up is Hotel California by the Eagles. Very good choice. This belongs here just for the title track alone, but we all know that there's a lot of songs on here that are absolute bangers, but yeah. Astro World. Fair enough. I feel like this is a modern, like, classic in many people's eyes. I don't consider it a classic, but I think it's a very good album. Even though it's my least favorite of his, I think it's still a very good album. We have Rage Against the Machine. I've not heard their debut album, so I can't say stuff here. Tyler, the Creator, Flower Boy. I mean, fair enough, but that means we have to see Call Me If You Get Lost and Igor on here, because they're both way better than Flower Boy. But Flower Boy, I think, is the start of the renaissance of Tyler, so I guess it deserves to be here. Listen Without Prejudice. I have heard of George Michael before, but obviously, I don't think I've listened to this. Back in Black, fair. One of the best-selling albums of all time. I did not know this was the second best-selling album of all time, up until like recently. But yeah, you have the title track, you have Hell's Bells, a lot of good songs on here. Like, there's that one song that comes after Back in Black. I cannot remember the name of it, but I do remember how it goes, and I love it. Lady Gaga. This is the album with Bad Romance on it, I can tell. Who knows? It might be good. I think I need to listen to it. Snoop Doggy Dogg, Doggy Style. One of my favorite hip-hop albums of all time. Yeah, this definitely deserves to be on here. Patti Smith, okay. I've heard of him before, but maybe I'll need to check out his stuff. But yeah, I see 50 Cent here. Get Rich or Die Trying, another classic. I think we all know this thing is a very impactful album. We have Neil Young, okay. I guess I can accept Neil Young in here. Ooh, the Marshall Mathers LP by Eminem. Another classic, one of my favorite albums, like, ever. Not just in hip-hop, ever. I love... So that means this is probably the only Eminem album we'll see here, because I expected, like, Slim Shady LP, and then this comes. But, okay. Fair enough. Man, we just have some great hip-hop classics on this list with Straight Outta Compton. In my opinion, the birth of hip-hop, and what a way to start a new genre that would go on to ruin the music industry later on, but at the time, this seemed like the coolest thing ever. Number 69, Nice. Yeah, this album it's not just nice, it's a classic. It's not just the title track. I I love the instrumental Orion. I think that's the name of it. And Sanitarium is another one of my favorite songs on there. So, but yeah, that title track is just absolutely legendary. It makes the album for me. Jimi Hendrix, I mean, I'll need to listen more than just Electric Ladyland, but, you know, good that Jimi Hendrix is on this list. I've not listened to every song on here, but the ones I have listened to are very, very good, so this deserves to be on the list for me. And Sade, I've never heard of her, but, you know, I guess it could make the list. Velvet Underground, a classic. I mean, no words. Shout out Andy Warhol. AM, Arctic Monkeys, fair. This deserves to be on the list for sure. Morning Glory, Oasis. I mean, some of my favorite songs of all time are on this thing. With Champagne Supernova, with Hello, and with Wonderwall, of course. All right, we get some Rolling Stones action on here. I have not listened to this one, but I'll check it out. I'll see if it's a good listen. I mean, another classic here. I mean, I know everyone knows the two infamous songs, Sweet Child of Mine and Welcome to the Jungle, but I do believe this, just for those two songs alone, I think this is worthy of being called the classic. Take Care, really? This is not a top 100 album of all time for me. I love Headlines, I don't mind Marvin's Room, but, you know. This is not a top 100 for me. Not for me. I've not heard this album, but I love this band, so I'll definitely check it out. I will say they have some of like the ones that we expect, but yeah, classic album. There's definitely in there. What did I just say? Bruh. I feel like this is like most of what we expect to see, I guess. It's like, for example, another classic right here. I feel like most of what we see is what we expect to see. Like, this is what I'm saying, like when they're pulling things from the internet. Why is this only 32? Like, I don't know why this is 32. Like, this is at least top 10, at the very least, in my opinion. Dark Side of the Moon is my favorite album of all time. Obviously, it deserves to be on here. This is basically just one ginormous piece, and it's just phenomenal. But this deserves to be at number one. Whatever is at number one needs to cook, because this is my number one. How dare you do the Pink Floyd this bad? And I did not even see Wish You Were Here on this list also. Well, this is the album I was talking about earlier. We have Kanye West, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Some people hype this album a little bit too much. I believe there are some classic songs on here, but there are also some songs that when they come on, I feel like they're a bit too long for me, and I just want to skip it. That's not for every song on this album, but you know, I think it's inconsistent sometimes, in my opinion. One of my favorite disco albums. This is so good. Now, this is very good. Very, very good. I will say it is much higher than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like top 30 at least, but you know, good that it's in just below the top 20. This is just the peak of psychedelic music. It's like, it doesn't even feel like psychedelic music, but there are just some songs in here where they come on and I just get lost in it, you know? This is a very comforting album. I do believe that it definitely deserves to be on here. Let's see, what else? I mean, I need to listen to every song, but the ones that I've listened to, this definitely deserves to be on here for sure. For sure. No doubt about that. The fact that this is only 17 will make a lot of people very angry. But, I mean, this is obviously a classic. But the fact that it's at 17, I don't know who Joni Mitchell is, I'm sorry. But yeah, that'll make a lot of people very angry for Marvin Gaye. Really? This is 15? This is not 15. I'm sorry. Look, this has some good songs in it, but this is nowhere 15. At the very least, if this, in your opinion, deserves to be top 100, put it at 100, okay? This is nowhere near, like, best albums. This can definitely be considered a classic album. I definitely do consider that, unlike Adele. But yeah, this is definitely worthy of that. Same with this, and it's one of the best like features of all time, definitely, with the guy we saw on the list previously. But amazingly produced as well, with a good amount of songs. But yeah, of course, another classic here. I don't know. I cannot believe that. Well, yeah, obviously. I just can't believe that Adele made it into the top 15. But now we're entering the top 10. I think I see Lemonade there. Okay, look, I've never listened to Lemonade in full, but I've heard it's a very good album. So I guess I'll give it a chance one of these days, but, Classic. I like almost every song on this album. And I'm ashamed that the original cover is not, on Apple Music. Like, oh, never mind. It is. I'm sorry. But they have, like, this thing where it's like sometimes they have it, sometimes they don't. Like, it's so strange. Oh, no, that's on Spotify. Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry about that. But, yeah, this is definitely top 10. I've never heard Amy Winehouse before, but I'll definitely check this out to see if it's good. They used the wrong cover. I think that the original cover is much better. I mean, this cover is fine, but I think it can tell more of a story. But I think the story is with the original cover. That cover is just where it's at for me personally. But yeah, I mean, Kendrick is owning Drake right now, and he owned like the hip hop scene at one point, like during the early 2010s, and that's with this album here. Ear orgasm in almost every possible way.
What do you mean by that?
I feel like almost every single song on here is very, very, very good. I can binge a lot of these songs on repeat, on loop. Bruh. I mean, I guess why you put this at top 5, but I need to listen to this more, in my opinion. I can see why you put this in top 10. I can definitely see why. I just need to listen more of it. It's the same thing with Frank Ocean, man. Yes, finally! Every single best albums list I've seen, this one just is about to be in the top 10. But the fact that it's this high, oh my goodness. It's very, very, very good. But yeah, definitely top 10 album of all time. It's my number 2, but apparently number 2 for them is Thriller, which, fair enough. It's a classic. But I think I just barely cracked the top 10. It's not, because there are some songs that, can get like repetitive after just a little bit, like tiny repetitive, like Human Nature, like is a very good song, but it feels like I listen to it once a year basically. But they think the number 1 album of all time is Miseducation. I mean, fair. Very fair on that. I don't think it's the best of all time, but it's definitely up there for me. But yeah, okay, sure, Surprise Me. Yeah, okay, I will definitely get into George Michael, but wow, what a disappointing list, guys. I mean, I think what I said earlier about them taking inspiration from the internet or from their co-workers is very relatable, but they mostly took from the internet, because I cannot in good conscience say that Adele deserves to be in top 15. It doesn't matter what album it is, it does not need to be in top 15. But yeah, I mean, overall I think this list was fine, but we're missing some big things. I mean, in terms of Kanye himself, we did not see College Dropout or Graduation on this list whatsoever. Michael Jackson, I did not see Bad or Dangerous. I did not see Sgt. Pepper on this list even once. I don't know, man. Look, to me, this can definitely be improved. But I have listened to like over 1,000 songs, or even 10,000 songs during my lifetime, but I have not listened to 100 albums from beginning to end. So maybe I'm not the best person to be qualified to say this, but I don't care. It's my opinion, and if you disagree, you can hate me all you want in the comments, I guess. But that's going to wrap it for today. And the only thing I can say to wrap this up is Apple Music, get better.